Hey, I'm Tenille Arts and you're watching Canadian Beats.
Hi everyone, Linda Heldman here for Canadian Beats. We are in Nashville, Tennessee, and this is the very lovely Tenille Arts.
Hey.
Thank you for doing this with me today,
Oh,
Tenille.
thank you.
This has been quite an experience this week. It's just interview, and I love it, and I love running into all my Canadian music friends. It's been absolutely exciting.
I know, it's so nice. Everybody's all in one spot.
And last night we were out with some other mutual friends, checking out a few things, which was a lot of fun as well. Cool. So where are we right now? This beautiful room that we're sitting in.
Yeah, this is my writing room here in Nashville. I come here pretty much every day, and it's in the Noble Vision Music Group building. So we've got our own spot here, and it's really nice because it's just me and two other writers that write here, and then my publisher, and you met Shirley. So it's just a very small little group, and we really enjoy it.
Nice, nice. So it's your own little room that you have decorated the way you want, and it's very cozy.
Yeah.
And it's on a beautiful sunny day like today is. It's great. There's lots of light coming in, and it's really nice.
Yeah. I got the nice couches too.
It's the same.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
good.
it's comfy.
It's good. What songs have you written here?
Oh my gosh, pretty much everything that I've put out has been written in this building or just blocks away. I mean, pretty much since I started writing for my debut EP, a lot of those songs were written once I moved to Nashville. When I turned 21, I moved down here, and just, you know, it was quite a transition to go from just writing every once in a while when I felt inspiration, you know, in my bedroom, to being here every single day, you know, sometimes two or three writes a day. It kind of, I tried to go really hard at the beginning, and that kind of burnt out a little bit. I had to kind of cut back to like one write, and maybe just like picking certain people that I know I work really well with, especially when we've got a deadline coming up, like an EP or an album, and we're thinking, oh, maybe we need another tempo. We definitely, I try to write with the people that I really feel a good connection with, and I know that we're going to come up with something great. But so many songs have been written in here. I remember starting I Can Do the Leavin' in this room, and then we finished it in the room over there.
Oh,
so
nice.
yeah,
Nice.
yeah, just lots of memories here already.
So you're writing for yourself, but you're also writing for other people.
Yeah, I've done a lot of writing for myself, but sometimes I'll write with artists, or just sometimes it's not really a fit for me, so we'll send it out and see if anybody else wants to cut it.
And I don't know, to some people that might sound funny, because if you're writing a song, why wouldn't you write a song to fit you? Because it's your song. But I think the first time I ever remember hearing that was with Jason McCoy, when he wrote the one song that ended up being Doc Walker's big hit, because he said it just wasn't the right fit for him.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of cool how
Yeah.
that happens.
For sure. I feel like different songwriters kind of bring out different things in you, and maybe it's not really true to your music, but it's fun, or it just makes you, sometimes I think you literally sit down and go, this hook sounds like a Blake Shelton song, or you know, different things like that, and then you can kind of write for those people and kind of direct it towards artists.
So you've been down here a couple of years now.
Yeah, I guess it's like 2.5 now.
That had to be a big leap of faith.
It was. I mean, we, like, my whole family is back home, you know, in Saskatchewan, and they've spread out across Canada quite a bit, but I was really the only one that went down to Nashville, and it was obviously a huge transition because I lived with my parents, just saving up money before I moved down here, so it was a huge change to go from literally living in your parents' house to living by yourself. I mean, the first time my mom left, because she came down for like a couple weeks to just get me settled, and then the first time that she left, I was just like, oh my gosh, now I have to do this.
I'm really here on my own.
I'm really here by myself. I didn't know anybody my age. I just knew a few people that I worked with, so it's a big transition.
So it was a good move, and it's something you felt you needed to do just to be immersed in the music scene.
Yeah, and I had met Adam Wheeler and Matt Rovey and Hal Oven, which was like my very first real team. I had met them on a writing trip down here. I believe it was in 2012, and I don't know, something just like clicked between all of us, and I had never really felt that before with producers and with my publisher, so I just felt like this was the perfect place for me to be, because I knew that those people, it was so important that I could be here and just be spontaneous. Like when there was a meeting or when they wanted to record music, then there was a perfect opportunity. I wouldn't have to miss out on those things.
And Hal and, I'm sorry, I forget the other gentleman's name, also worked with Cody Prevost.
Yes,
Who's
yeah.
another Saskatchewan artist.
Yeah, and actually I was introduced to Adam and Hal through Cody, because I had a performance with him at a cystic fibrosis fundraiser, and he said, "You gotta write with Adam when you go down there." And it all fell into place in such a simple way. Like, it wasn't just like this big moment, but we were just sitting in Adam's writing room, and he just said, "Just play me something so that I can hear like what you sound like." And so I played him a couple cover songs. I think one was Drops of Jupiter and Fast Car, which were songs that I had on my YouTube channel like at the time. And then Adam left the room for a second. He was like, "Just hold on." And he called Matt Rovey, who produces Dean Brody. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, I love Dean." So Matt came over and I played for him as well. And then it just kind of started this whole thing rolling. Like they were saying, "We want to record some music with you." And the very first stuff that we recorded wasn't even songs that I had written. We were pitched them from other people, and I feel like I was very new to the writing scene at that point, and didn't really have any songs that I felt like were ready yet. So it was a really great way to start.
It was great last year in Saskatoon for the CCMAs, because Adam was there, Hal was there. We were at Cody Prevost's CD release party. You were there, and it just felt so comfortable, like a real bonding of Saskatchewan artists just being there and really embracing everything.
Yeah, I thank Cody all the time for introducing me to these guys, because they're just so great, and that's the thing, like they kind of feel like family, and especially like we were all at Cody's show. I mean, how cool is that it just kind of like comes full circle like that. It's really cool.
And we have to talk about other Saskatchewan artists. Yes. We've got Chris Henderson, of course, Jess Moskaluke.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting anybody? They're the ones that come to mind.
Yeah, there's just
that's
so
just country.
Many incredible artists. I know, like Chris Henderson's brother, Joel, I sang on some of his stuff a few years back, and it's just, there's so much incredible talent in Saskatchewan, and I think we're really lucky that there are different opportunities for us to showcase and just to meet other artists, and a lot of them travel down to Nashville, and it's just great. I mean, I wish there was more of like that community, like closer, you know, like everybody has to come to Nashville, but it's like, I wish there was like one place that like everybody went in Canada, because I'd love to, you know, be a part of that too.
I have to laugh. Last year, I was asked to do an interview for One Bad Son, and I was talking with Kurt Dahl, and I'm there like not knowing he had two hats that he wore.
Yes.
I go, "Yeah, I'm a drummer, and I'm also an entertainment lawyer."
Yes.
And I went, "Oh, great, who do you represent?" And your name came up.
Yes.
And it's like, "Oh, that's so cool." But he's from Saskatchewan as well.
Yes, and I mean, how cool is that you can go to a show and like meet up with your entertainment lawyer? Like, it's really great. I mean, he's been with me since my very first deal here in Nashville, so it's really, it's special. I mean, you don't have that anywhere else. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the first time I met you or heard you perform was in Halifax in, I think we established it was 2015.
Yes, I think so.
And I got invited on this cruise on one of the schooners to go out in the bay, and you were opening on that for Jess.
Yeah. And
I heard your voice, and I'm there going, "Oh my goodness, she is so good.
Aww.
This girl is going to be going places." So it was so cool to be able to see you then, and to see since 2015 how you've grown as an artist.
Thank you.
And then 2016, you were part of...
Discovery,
2016, yes. So I'm trying to get my
No.
CCMA years in check.
Yeah.
You were part of the Discovery Program.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like? Because I know that was the same year Runaway Angel was there.
Yes.
Eric Etheridge is the lovely gentleman who won that year. And they had you on such an intense program for, it's 6 weeks that you run through? And
Yeah, like it basically started, I think, in January or February was when I first found out. And oh my gosh, that whole thing was crazy because I had applied for that for years. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. I was probably not ready any other year besides the year that I was chosen. So I think they just do a really great job of, even when you as an artist think, oh, I was so ready for that, like, why wasn't I chosen? It's not, they just have a weird way of knowing, like, who's ready for this. And I was here in this office when I got the phone call from Tom Green, and he said, I'm really excited to tell you that you're part of the Discovery Program this year. And I remember literally just tearing up because I thought, this is so great for me right now, because we had planned on releasing an EP, and I was like, I have so many questions, because just as an independent artist, I mean, I've got a great team, but we're all doing this for the first time. You know, we've never released music, you know, in this digital world. Like, my publisher obviously has some experience in the record business, but we were doing it for the first time, really. And so it was so great to be a part of that and to get to ask all those questions and meet up with industry people in Canada that maybe I knew them, like I had researched them and knew who they were, but I had never actually been able to introduce myself, and never, you know, when you introduce yourself at the CCMAs, it kind of feels like, oh, maybe you're just like another artist. Like, it's not really, there's nothing tied to your name, but when you're in the Discovery Program, people are looking at you, I think, in a different way, and it's just, like, that was the very first time that I felt like I was part of the CCMA family, and that, you know, things could only grow from that point.
I know they really, they take you through everything from your performing to what you need for social media. You're at the Toronto office for Google and Facebook and Twitter and Spotify and all these wonderful places. So I can, just from an outsider looking in and just talking to the different ones that have been part of that, what an experience that it is. Like, the artist going in there definitely grows and comes out a more developed artist.
Yeah, and I feel like just as a group, we were very close. Like, all of us in the group, we were really only in Toronto, I think, for a week, but it felt like we just all became instant friends, and we were really on that journey together. Like, it never felt like anybody was gonna win or anything like that. There were times that we cried, you know, we had a lot of fun. It was just, there were so many different levels of all of that. And I, like, towards the end of that, you go in and you talk to the CCMA team kind of like in a panel setting, and pretty much everybody cried during, like, you know, it was just so emotional, because a lot of the times you're telling them, like, why do you want to be in country music, and what draws you to country, and what have you been through that's, like, shaped you until this point. And I mean, everybody's got a story, so to go back into your life, and it just, so many people have been through so many different things, and I think, you know, it just creates, you know, everybody gets emotional, because country music is emotion, you know, it's
absolutely.
just, I think it's really the only genre that's like that, so it's a very emotional time, and it just connects you to all of those people in a really special way.
So back in October, you released Rebel Child, and how has that been doing?
It's been going really well. We didn't really know what to expect, because we had released an EP the year before, my first EP, and we were so shocked it went to #1 on iTunes in Canada, and we were just like, what? Like, we did not plan for that. We just, yeah, it was
you
basically,
want that, but
yes, and it was basically all social media and friends and fans, like, supporting that. So that was incredibly cool. Then this year, or 2016, when we released Rebel Child, it was kind of a different ballgame, because we picked our release date which also happened to fall on a lot of other like big artist release dates. So yeah, that was really interesting. But so I released on the exact same day as Chris Young and Darius Rucker.
Oh, wow.
And we had a big show here in Nashville. I just did like a live, like full band show for industry and for friends and anybody who wanted to come out to celebrate the release of Rebel Child. And we went to my manager's place afterwards to just chat and hang out with the whole team. And we were actually on a tour of my manager's house in the bathroom. It was this big, beautiful bathroom, but one of them goes, "You are number 2 on the iTunes Canada country chart right now." Like Chris Young, Tenille Arts, and Darius Rucker.
Oh my
I could not believe it.
Oh, wow.
We all just kind of freaked out, and I obviously teared up because I knew that. And yeah, it was just like such a memorable moment. And it's since then, you know, albums kind of have like cycles, you know, they go up and then maybe you do a big show and it'll have a little spike again. But it was crazy, like just recently it had like quite a jump, and it was just really cool, you know, to see that your album is still out there and that people are still looking for it. It's cool.
And speaking of albums, we mentioned Rebel Child, you have a deluxe edition coming out for that. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so February 9th, the deluxe album comes out, and it features the song that I performed on The Bachelor, Moment of Weakness. So we've added that to the original album, plus another acoustic version of that song, because when we played it on the show, we had cello and like just some other instruments involved there, so we added that, a cover song, Black Velvet, which I'm really excited about.
Song.
I love that song, and I perform it live all the time. Since the Discovery Program, actually, that was when I first started performing it, and ever since then, it's kind of been like my show closer. Like, I love to play that song last because it's just, I don't know, there's something about it.
It's such a classic Canadian song.
Yeah, it is. I think
really
that's like
is.
the cool, special thing is that it's like kind of giving it another life, which I love. And then also on the deluxe album, bringing a song from the EP, Wildfire and Whiskey, is going to be part of Rebel Child now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now you mentioned The Bachelor. That has to be exciting. You were on The Bachelor.
Yeah. I know. I still kind of like pinch myself. Like, I don't really know how to feel. It's been crazy. It's been really fun.
How did that even happen?
Yeah, it was a big, like, I don't know, just like so many things had to go right for it to happen, and they all did. Like, I really don't know how it all came together, but my manager said there was an opportunity to send a song into the show. And The Bachelor is so great for supporting new artists. Like, I don't know if like a lot of people know that. Sometimes online people are like, why did they have this unknown artist on the show? But they're so good at just helping artists, like, you know, get that exposure, and then, you know, the internet will tell you whether it was good or not. And yeah, so it was just crazy. I mean, we sent them a love song. It wasn't a song from the original Rebel Child album because I just didn't quite feel like any of those songs were perfect for the show. So I went through all of the songs that I had ever written before, and we found the song Moment of Weakness, which I wrote with Adam Wheeler and Rick Huckabee. And when I listened back to the voice memo, it sounded like we wrote it for the show. I was like, this is perfect for a one-on-one date. Like, I hope they love it. So we kind of scrambled and went and got a demo done of the song, and we sent it in to them. They loved it, and literally the next thing we knew, we were putting together a band and flying down to film for the show.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you said that was in Florida.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my phone. Oops. Sorry. I don't know how much that's going to be picked up, but okay. Let's do a quick, and we'll edit. Shush. I'm not going over there to touch it. It'll stop eventually. There we go.
So funny.
Okay, let's go back to, alrighty. So all this happened in Florida.
Yeah, we flew down to Fort Lauderdale, and I actually stayed in Palm Beach. It was funny because I couldn't tell anybody what I was doing, so I was like, oh, I'm playing a private show in Palm Beach. You know, like I didn't want to give anything away or anything like that. So I stayed in Palm Beach, and then we went into Fort Lauderdale to film, and we got there at around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and we didn't film until midnight.
Wow.
So it was like a really long day, but everybody was just so excited that, I mean, I wasn't tired.
You're running on adrenaline.
Yeah. It was kind of like hurry up and wait, but I think that just made it almost more special because we were literally on the edge of our seats waiting for them to come in for a good bit of time. So it was just like, you know, once they started walking in, you're just like, oh my gosh, this is happening. You kind of freak out a little bit, but it was such a cool experience.
It seems to me, as you're talking about this, I think in the past couple of years, I'm not sure whether it was last year or the year before, I think Sean Hook was picked, his song was picked for something too.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, they've been so supportive of artists and their music. I think it's
Canadian
great.
artists.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's awesome.
That's exciting. So, anything else you'd like to add? There's so much going on for you.
It's been super crazy, but it's just, for me, the most exciting part is like meeting new people online, because honestly, sometimes I talk to people, like new friends and fans online more than I talk to my own family, because it's just that instant connection. And I think this whole experience has just led me to meeting so many new people and getting personal messages from them about, I want to have a moment of weakness at my wedding, and different things like that. I would have never thought that, you know? So it's really cool. And then radio has been supporting it, and it's just great. I mean, I can't ask for more. It's been really great.
Great. Well, I thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me today.
Thank you.
Taking time out of your writing schedule, and I could just sort of stay in this room and relax.
It's so
just like,
comfy. I can't
really
sing.
comfy.
When I write, I get so tired because I'm like, you just slowly sing down.
You have a guitar,
Yeah, by the end of the song, you're basically just like half asleep.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. Awesome. Tenille Arts, please check out her music. Follow her on her socials. Send her a message. She'll respond. Honest. And all the best.
Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Tenille Arts, and I'm Linda Heldman for Canadian Beats.